everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be repotting a Dendrobium phalaenopsis. This is my Dragon King alba. So this is my first Dendrobium phalaenopsis, but from what I'm assuming, I'm not sure because I don't know the full care just yet. They are somewhat similar to the Dendrobium nobile. But the only difference that I do know is that they do not require a winter rest. They could be watered throughout the year. So let's get on with it. So right now it is potted up in fir bark, I believe, or orchid bark, fir bark maybe. Okay. I do have a mushy looking pseudobulb. It's a previous growth. Let's see. Will it focus? There we go. Ooh, oh yep, it just broke off there. And I'm not sure if you could see, but you might most likely will not be able to see it, but there are little springtails crawling in there. Yep, it just came off right there. Looks like it was a little rotted. There we go. So it was rotted. Okay, and I do have a whole lot of dead roots, I believe, but I do have a whole lot of new root growth right here, as you can see. Look at that. You can see by the colors. So I'm most likely going to spray this with hydrogen peroxide 3%, and I'm most likely going to get rid of all of these old root system, and I will clean up this orchid. I'll take off the dry leaves or sheaths on and clean it up a little bit before we repot the orchid. Okay, so I've already cleaned off my two with 99% isopropyl, but for those of you who do have sensitive nose, because the smell of isopropyl 99% is not so great, so I would recommend using maybe a lower percentage. I think he has enough roots to sustain himself and his new growth. So yeah, I think I'm gonna just get rid of all of these previous these old growth right here. Okay, so we have all that old, we have all the old roots gone. Okay, and now I'm gonna just clean her up some more. So now I'll be cleaning her with 3% hydrogen peroxide right there. Okay. So now I'm going to just place her down. Okay, and now that she's been sitting there for a little while, I did also rinse off her leaves a little just because I believe they were a little dusty. Okay, so whoops. Once again, since my Dendrobium nobiles are doing really well in organic media, I'm going to test it out by putting the Dendrobium phalaenopsis in there. I'm pretty sure he'll be okay because he looks like he's actively kind of growing his roots at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to most likely have it in a semi-hydro setup because my Dendrobium nobiles seem to thrive. They are loving their environment. So yeah, so I'll be using Lica and pumice as my media. And obviously, to avoid rot in the pseudobulbs, or I mean not pseudobulbs, I mean canes, it's best to place the canes or like above the media. You don't want to place them inside where water will just sit around the canes and which would cause them to rot. So yeah, I think about this height will be good. Okay, so let's see how that is right now. Okay, so now I'm going to just tap it up a little just to get all those huge air pockets. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, my hands keep coming in the way. Okay, so I obviously don't want a huge amount of, I don't want my top layer to be of Lica, just because Lica tends to dry out really quickly as a top layer. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap at the top because as a top layer, I would like to add some river pebbles, rocks. Also, this is a top layer to keep the Lica and pumice moist and to prevent it from drying out way too quick. Okay, so here we have the Dendrobium King Alba. Let me just go get his tag and place that in there and clean all this up. And then I would like to do a sit down and actually discuss a little bit of the care that I've come across on how to take care of a Dendrobium phalaenopsis. So let's talk about care. Dendrobiums are separated into two main groups, hard cane and soft cane. So at the moment we will be focusing on the hard cane Dendrobium, and that would be the Dendrobium phalaenopsis. Dendrobiums are evergreen, which means they don't require a winter's rest, and they hold on to their leaves for a few years. They lose them over time, but they're not deciduous. Dendrobium phalaenopsis grow their flower spikes from top of their cane once the cane has matured. Okay, let's talk about watering. You should water often if the orchid is in an active growth. You may slow down watering when you notice the orchid isn't in active growth or growing as as it was, like, let's just say in a warm growing climate versus a cool growing climate. But that doesn't mean that they go into a winter's rest. You still continue to water them. You just might not have to water them as often. Lighting. They thrive in medium to bright light. They can handle direct morning sunshine, and during the noon, they should be shaded or be getting filtered light. Okay, so this is going off topic, but their leaves are slightly different from the Dendrobium nobile, and my Dendrobium nobile behind me can actually withstand direct sunlight up to 25 degrees, and then that's when their leaves become hot. As for the Dendrobium phalaenopsis, I'm actually not sure if they can handle that kind of direct light. So if anyone knows, please leave a comment down below in the comment section. That would be great. Okay, next, temperature. These guys are warm to hot growing orchids. They can handle daytime temperature from 23 to 29 degrees and nighttime temperatures from 15 to 18 degrees. They tend to thrive when there is a 15 to 20 degree drop in temperature from day to night. Humidity. They prefer 50 to 60% humidity. So I believe that's great for a home environment. Also, if it's not receiving enough humidity, you can place it under a humidity tray or place it around a humidifier. But when doing that, you want to make sure that you might have a fan or something that will help you circulate the air around the orchid. Fertilizer. When in active growth, they need to be fertilized regularly. You can slow down fertilizing when their growth has kind of slowed down, or you might not have to fertilize as often. For me, I fertilize my orchids weekly, but I do weekly, like I fertilize them weekly. If you know what I mean, weekly as in like a smaller dosage versus a full amount of fertilizer, and they get that food option weekly, just because some of my orchids are in an inorganic setup, so they don't really get that nutrients from an inorganic setup, so I do have to feed my orchids weekly, but I do it weekly. Okay, and I believe that's about it. So if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like or subscribe to my channel. I hope you have an exquisite day. Bye!